Today I'm speaking with Errol Denger from Adobe. Good morning, Errol. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well, and thank you for having me.
Sure. So I know we are going to be at shop.org, and I understand there is an announcement that Adobe is making. So why don't you tell us about it?
Sure. We're announcing a new partnership with Magento Commerce. And so we've integrated Adobe's Marketing Cloud with both Magento Commerce and their fulfillment suite, really targeting the mid-market, but increasingly we see I'll say, a wide array of enterprise players also interested in utilizing these technology stacks.
Okay, so the Marketing Cloud, what does it exactly do?
So the Adobe Marketing Cloud at the highest level, as the name implies, really focuses on empowering marketers to create great experiences across all channels. So supporting the full end-to-end marketing cycle from customer and prospect acquisition to delivering the right message. So if I look at the front end, it's products like Adobe Media Optimizer to target prospects, and then when they arrive at your site, utilizing real-time capabilities like Adobe Target, we can deliver the right message. Experience Manager enables you to build the experience, and then Adobe Analytics enables you to really track and continuously optimize that experience.
Okay, so basically the four products that you mentioned are things that are within this the Adobe Experience, I'm sorry, Marketing Cloud.
Correct.
Right. So is this for a what size of customers would you say this is good for?
Well, the Adobe Marketing Cloud serves, I'll say, internet retailers all the way from, the top 100 down to 8 or 900. So we have a very broad, I'll say, addressable market. But the partnership is specifically targeting what we would call the mid-range enterprise, as well as medium-sized businesses. And the reason that we draw that line is when you get above firms that drive, 500 to $1 billion of revenue, we see a very high percentage of those firms, I'll call them the billionaires club, custom building their own solutions. But that being said, there are also quite a few of them who are our clients as well as exploring Magento as well.
What about the social aspect? Marketing Cloud also handle social engagement?
Absolutely. So we have a product that's part of Adobe Experience Manager that enables our clients to deploy rich community capabilities and social capabilities directly into their experiences. So again, it's everything from threaded forums, bringing in the chat capabilities, etc., all the way through to the new acquisition we made of Livefire, which is really cool. Which really, if you think about it, creating a rich, I'll say, social environment isn't just about bringing people to your site, but continuously monitoring and finding out who are the most influential social, I'll say, mavens and advocates out there, as well as, what are the hottest pieces of user-generated content. And so Livefire can track again, what's hot. It can then be used to pull that content into the brand's platform and obtain publishing rights. So now a brand that may have launched a new product is able to pull in, tweets and I'll say community user-driven content from across the internet to really augment their experience online.
Okay, yeah, I think that was a good addition to the tool set, Livefire. So
Yeah, we're excited about that one.
yeah, is it fully integrated now?
It's integrated into Experience Manager, so we very aggressively assimilated both the team and the technology. And we're on a journey, so we're going to continue to extend the depth of integration, but it is integrated.
Okay. So for all practical purposes, it is integrated. So that's good. Um, what are your thoughts on So, everybody's talking about the cloud, and I'm sure a lot of the services that Adobe is also looking at or providing is also in the cloud. How does that play into this experience, this picture?
I think we believe in supporting a broad range of deployment models. So we do support both on-premise as well as the in-cloud offering. As we look at the market that we're serving with Magento, we expect the majority of our clients to utilize more of a cloud-based deployment model. So at this point, the way it works is will be deployed in the cloud, as will Magento, and then we just connect the instances. So that'll be the version one. Over time, we are exploring a more aggressive co-location and joint cloud offering. But with the first release, our focus was to ensure that we could support any deployment models that our clients are looking for, and that we could get them up and running very quickly.
Okay, so to go into that a little bit more detail, what would the actual implementation look like for an existing Magento client?
So in this case, what we've done, and maybe I'll just take a step back and set a little bit of context around how we've integrated the two solutions. So say an existing Magento client wants to enhance, again, integrate Experience Manager, enhance the customer experience. So with Magento 2, they've completely redone their APIs. And what we've done is, first of all, not only have we mapped Experience Manager's APIs to Magento's APIs, but we've also translated a lot of the business logic. And what that means is, first of all, we're able to ingest the catalog as well as key business objects like promotions and coupons, and now expose those to marketers so they understand, for example, if you're building a campaign and applying a coupon, eligibility, start and end times, etc. But in the back end, Magento is enforcing that coupon. So that's an example of a business object that we have integrated into both systems. And to answer your question now, the way it would work is we connect into that Magento instance, directly connecting the system's APIs. And then you would basically redeploy the storefront on Adobe Experience Manager. And so now, as marketers are building these experiences, all of the capabilities available in Magento are all surfaced through the Adobe Experience Manager, what we call our touch UI. So it's a WYSIWYG, it's kind of an in-context editing tool. So in this case, a marketer would simply work with the storefront, work with the experience, and is then able to publish that out. And so that would then, you point your servers then to this new storefront, and you have this cloud-to-cloud connection between Magento and Adobe Experience Manager.
Okay, so the actual integration is done through the API only, or is there other pieces to it?
So that's it's an API-based integration, as well as I mentioned, the different business objects themselves. So there are about 55 commerce components in Adobe Experience Manager, ranging from the example I gave you, which is we need to understand what a coupon is, a product, a carousel, etc. And so the APIs connect or are mapped. And then, from there, we're able to rationalize and understand the key business objects. And that also includes things like catalog integration. So we understand not only can we import the catalog, but we understand taxonomy. We could do full and incremental catalog imports and updates, etc. So, ultimately, though, the communication is through the open API, but there's also I'll say the majority of the integration effort is really on mapping those business objects themselves.
Right. Okay. Now, as far as the financial side of it, do customers actually purchase this through Magento or through Can they purchase it through Magento or?
At this point in time, we're utilizing a co-selling arrangement, so it's still on Adobe paper. In other words, we're not doing a reseller at this point, but perhaps over time we may explore different go-to-market models.
Okay. Great. I think this is very exciting. Magento is very popular, so that was I think it's a good move. Will help to get Experience Manager into a lot more hands, basically. Um, if I was to ask, for example, what are the next innovations that Adobe is looking at in the e-commerce or even retail um, area in the next year or two, what would you tell me?
So we are, that's a great question. And, again, as an experienced company, we are really focused on enabling our clients to better handle all of the complexity of omni-channel. And so some of the recent announcements that we've had are in 2016, we rolled out um, store associate mobile apps. We've made big investments in-store digital displays and screens. We have shopper apps, etc. And some of the capabilities that we've announced again are, we recognize that while you have to have consistency and context across experiences, not all devices are created equal. So again, if you're interacting with a mobile device with 14 different sensors, you need to, and as well as a much more constrained screen real estate versus an in-store digital display that is now, perhaps an 80-inch screen that is more of a public venue. You have to be able to share different information and utilize those, I'll say, two touch points contextually, as well as with a store associate who may have, if you think about all three screens, on my screen, I may have a smart list, my shopping list, and have my size. On the public screen, I may have information to augment the selections or the products in my list. And then, of course, the store associates are going to have information, maybe such as promotions, margins, cross sells, etc., to better service me. And so that's where we started in 2016, and we're continuing to move along that spectrum. Number one, by extending the number of touch points that we're able to support, all from Adobe Experience Manager. So some of the things that we're looking at are being able to support new digital mediums, as well as pushing into better supporting our partners in the point of sale space, beyond just retail, looking at all of the different touch points. Again, if you think about travel and hospitality, the front office and say aviation above the wing, you see a whole new, I'll say, spectrum of associate and employee apps, as well as customer engagement opportunities through IoT, wearables, etc. And we're really trying to bring those in the mix and enable our clients to manage all of these touch points on a single platform of, again, Experience Manager. And then on the, I'll say, predictive insights and targeting side, one of the things that we continue to extend is our ability to handle not only all of these touch points, but with some of our customer lifetime value and what I actually position as multi-event optimization algorithms. So we're able to stitch together as a customer jumps devices and across a complex journey. So I may utilize 3 or 4 different devices. We're able to string those together, understand the evolving context and intent to really guide the shopper through that experience. So those are just some of the investments that my group is making. We also similarly launched the new co-op, device co-op, which enables our clients to better recognize anonymous shoppers. So brands that have opted into the co-op and may have a relationship with Errol Denger. Now, when I potentially, if I've never authenticated on my mobile device, with brand A, and I arrive at their store, I log in with my device, they'll be able to recognize who I am. Again, as long as number one, that brand has joined this co-op, as well, and I, Errol Denger, am a customer of the brands, then they'll recognize that this iPhone does in fact belong to me. So those are a few examples of really how we're enabling our clients and brands to better handle the omni-channel complexities.
Okay, great. Well, that's a pretty impressive list. I need to really catch up and see what, I mean, every one of these areas that you mentioned is worth looking into and going into deeper.